What's up, everyone? This is Bill with BLRTUNING. You guys know what time it is. Today's watch is a Invicta Hercules. So this is the big guy. This is the limited edition 62 millimeter. And this is the yellow gold with that dark blue and the wheat inlay. It's a harder watch to get a hold of. Big, huge crowns. Amazing watch. Today I got a little video for you guys. This is our brand new Stealth 2 LED kit. So this is going to be the add-on kit to Stealth 1. If you guys haven't seen Stealth 1, there'll be a link in the description to that video. You have to have Stealth 1 in order to use this Stealth 2 add-on kit, but this is a Stealth 1 kit here. So this does come, this kit here is $149.99. Does come with your alcohol prep pad, your two LEDs that go up under the headlights, and then it does come with the wiring harness, the module, and the wireless remote. So you have to have this kit, Stealth Kit 1, in order to use this brand new kit, Stealth Kit 2. Okay, so this is going to be an add-on for that. This will be $124.99 on our website. If you order them as a bundle, you will get a discount on that by ordering them both at the same time. You can always come back and order this separately if you want. Okay, so this does come with everything you need to install this kit by itself. With the Stealth Kit 1. So like I said, you could place an order for this later on. You don't have to have this right this minute. You can order it down the road, but it will be easier to do the install if you're installing it all at once, because you're already going to have the bike apart. See, so this comes with everything you need. All of your extensions are labeled, so you see 47, 20, 40. So everything is planned out and really well designed. The reason we use this many extensions and don't just run one wire all the way somewhere is, what if we have to do maintenance on the bike? We don't want to have to uninstall everything. We'll be able to unplug it where we need to unplug it and uninstall that one part. So that we're keeping maintenance in mind. Okay, you got more than enough zip ties to do the job. We're not going to short you on your zip ties. You have 4 of these 9-inch LED strips. These are 100% waterproof. They do have 3M automotive adhesive on the back. The ends are soldered and heat shrank, so really nice. So you have 4 of those. I'm going to show you on the bike there, the install. And then you have these 13-inch ones up here. So you have 2 of these 13-inch ones, again, waterproof. So one of these is going to go under the swing arm, one under the front fascia. On these ones, one's going to go under the back seat area. One of them is going to go on the right-hand side air intake scoop on the inside of that scoop to help light up that right side of the bike, because we're going to have the left side of the swing arm lit up with this. And then you're going to have one underneath the upper backside A-arm on each side as well. That's what these two go. Okay, you got alcohol prep pads. Here's your 8-way splitter. We are going to be plugging this obviously into our Stealth Kit 1. That Y splitter that's on there will plug into one of these. And then you'll use the rest of these for these lights that come in this kit, and you'll end up with one left over. So later on down the road, when we release the Stealth Kit 3, you'll be able to add that as well. Obviously, a couple decals, a QR code to scan with your smartphone camera. It'll take you straight to this install video. So trying to make this as quick as possible. This is going to be a long video. You do have to take the bike apart. You have to take a few plastic panels off. It's not too bad. You'll be able to do it with simple tools. The tools you'll need for the job, I like to use one of these. This allows you to reach down in places, and you can get these at like Harbor Freight. You can get them dirt cheap. They really come in handy for grabbing wires and pulling them through, like up behind the headlight. You're going to need a plastic pry tool or a flathead screwdriver. Okay, you can use either one. And then a pair of cutters, that's to cut all the zip ties, the ends of the zip ties. Okay, everything will be packaged up really nice when you get it. Let's hop out to the bike. I'll walk you guys around and so you can see what it looks like during the day. This kit is already, we have both kits. So we have Stealth 1 and Stealth 2 installed on our bike. You'll see why we're calling it the Stealth Kit. You can't see any of these LEDs unless they are on. And that is the whole point behind doing underglow. And you know, go to enter a bike show, something like that, and you want it to look really classy. You turn those lights on and that whole bike glows. There's nothing better than having that look to the bike. Okay, so here we are at the bike. This is after the install, so I have all this installed already. It's been on the bike for a while. I'm going to remove everything and then walk you guys through this install. So you can see there, you can't see any of the lighting kit that's on the bike. Okay, you can look all over the bike. You're not going to see it until it's turned on. There is a 13-inch strip underneath that swing arm that lights up the ground. There's a strip underneath the seat that lights up that whole rear deck area. There is a light strip on underneath that top A-arm right here. You can see we don't got no zip ties, nothing. Everything looks clean. You don't got zip ties everywhere. We don't do that. Okay, we got one up underneath here, part of Stealth Kit 1. And underneath here, you can see we've got one. Well, you can't see it, but there's one underneath that one, underneath that A-arm. And then there is one back behind here. You can see right there. And that lights up this whole area here and part of the engine bay inside. Okay, it looks really awesome. Need to take off this right hand upper panel, the hood, the front fascia. You don't have to remove this. It's easier to install if you do remove it. Very simple to remove. I'll show you in the video. Oh, and this lower rocker panel. Okay, that panel down there needs to come off as well. All of our wiring is running underneath that. Okay, so this is Stealth Kit 2, or LED add-on. Again, there'll be a link in the description. You'll see the package deal. You can order them individually, or you can add them all as one bundle. Just remember, you need Stealth Kit 1 in order to do Stealth Kit 2. I can't express that enough. You have to have it. Won't work without it. Okay, and then obviously we have our switch here. Okay guys, so step 1 of installing your Stealth 2 LED add-on kit here is going to be remove the push rivets on the right side. So that's going to be pop this up. We're going to use our plastic pry tool. You can also use a flathead screwdriver. Pop that up and then pop the bottom one up and they'll come out. There's 2 here, 2 up here behind your gas cover. Okay, so let's get that panel off, and we're also going to need to remove the hood. Okay guys, so now we are on the right hand side of the bike. We have that panel moved out of our way. All of our lighting that we're adding is going to be coming up here and getting plugged in up here. Okay, so that's where everything's going to plug in. So to do that, we're going to use our little splitter here that comes in the kit. Okay, this little splitter is a 8-way splitter, so it allows you to add 8 more LED light connections, and we are going to end up with 1 left over. So when we add our Stealth Kit 3, which will come out later on, that will be able to plug into that kit without having to add another splitter to this whole connection. So that's why we went with this setup. So what you're unplugging here is the one that goes to this LED light. So right now you have one that comes off and goes up to your headlight on the right side, and then one goes under the panel over to the left side. So you're simply going to unplug that right there at the harness, and now we are going to plug in our splitter here like so. Now we're going to plug into our harness, and then we're going to use one of these connections right here. And I like to just start out with our splitter at one side and work my way over. It'll keep things a lot easier. And when we're done, we'll be able to zip tie all this up inside of here, and we should already have this kind of zip tied so we can move it around. If we need to cut this zip tie and redo it, we can. Okay, in case, just depending on how you zip tied it when you did the install for this kit. This is the easiest to install if you order it all as one kit, but like I said, you can order it separately and do just the headlights. You will have to have the Stealth 1 kit in order to do this Stealth 2 kit. Okay, so just keep that in mind. You cannot install this kit without the Stealth 1 kit. Okay, so there you go. Now we have power to our headlights still, and now we have multiple connections to plug into for all the lights that we're going to be adding. Okay, so we'll set that aside, and I'll show you where the first LED is going to go, and we'll get it in place. Okay, so now installing our lighting, we're going to start from the swing arm, and we're going to work our way towards the front. So on the swing arm, we're going to be underneath. I'm going to show you guys what it looks like under there. It's a very challenging camera angle, but on the left hand side of the bike, under the swing arm, you'll see some LED light kits want you to stick this sticky backing to the actual swing arm. What happens is over time that you get a lot of dirt and grime under there, and it's a textured metal surface that gets hot and cold, hot and cold. So what happens is these end up falling off. So we don't want you to do that. But the way we've designed the kit and set it up, so this is going to go underneath where the brake lines are, just underneath the swing arm where the brake lines are, and you're going to use 5 of the zip ties that came in the kit, and they're going to install right in between the LEDs and go up and around the brake lines. So this will be running up under there. You'll never know it's there, hence the name Stealth Kit. You'll never know it's there until it's turned on and lighting up under the bike. Make sure you put your LEDs or your zip ties in between where the LEDs are. We're going to use 5 of them, so we're going to use 2 at each end, 1 in the middle. Okay, you see how that works? And then we need 1 more for now. That's going to go up top and hold our cable, and I'll show you that. So what you need is 6 zip ties right now, one of the 13-inch strips, and you'll need one of the 47-inch extension wires. That's the longest wires that come in the kit. You can go ahead and plug that in now, plug male into female, and then we'll go out to the bike here and install this underneath the swing arm, and I'll show you how the wiring goes. Okay guys, you can see we're over here on the left-hand side of the bike at our swing arm. And now if we look, I'll try to show you this the best I can here. Okay, we're going under the bike. You'll see, let's see if we can get the light here. Okay, right there. It's gonna be dirty under here, and that's why I was saying, like, a lot of times sticky tape doesn't stick to this textured surface. So you see these lines here where these existing zip ties are? We're going to leave those existing zip ties there because they do zip tie up to a bracket up above, so we don't want to mess with them. But what we're going to do is right here along the lines is where our zip ties are going to go. We'll push it up through this side on the outside of the swing arm and to the inside. Okay, and then our wire harness is going to go, you see this bar for your suspension here, for your rear shocks. Our wire harness is going to feed up on this side of the bar, so that's to the outside of the bike, this side of the bar, and then when it comes up here, if you look down here, this is that bar. Okay, when you feed it up, you're going to go to the inside of the rear shock. Okay, so it's going to go on this side of the bar and over the bar and on the inside of the rear shock, and then it's going to zip tie right to this frame housing here. Okay, or the frame here of the bike. What this does is this will zip tie it to that. You're going to leave just a little bit of slack so the suspension can move around, but it's going to look really clean when you're done if you do it the way I'm going to show you. And also, we're not affecting whether or not you have the max mount. We don't want to zip tie anything to the max mount, because if you have a bike that doesn't have the max mount, then our kit don't work for you. So we're utilizing it. So picture the bike without a max mount, this kit will still work. Okay, you could have a bone stock bike and this kit's going to work for you. Okay, so now I'll show you here I'm on the other side of the bike now. Okay, so you can see how our wire is ran. It comes out underneath the shock, but it is over the top of that bar. So you see our wire right there. You can see our zip ties hanging down. So I'm gonna hop over to the other side here and give you guys a good look at how that looks. And there we go, we got some light. Okay, I left these zip ties, we'll cut those off, but I left them up there so you guys can have a good idea. So what we're doing is, remember, this is the front of the bike here where my hand is, and this is towards the back of the bike. So our wire is curled. You see how I have it. This piece right here is going up to, let me see if I can grab it from up top here so you guys can have an idea here. Okay, so that is curled off of there, zip tied, and runs back up and goes right there. Okay, that's that bar. So it's going on the far outside of the bar and then on the other side of the shock. Okay, so we're using the 6 zip ties. Oh. Okay, we're not covering any of the LEDs. See, we got 2 on the end here, 1 in the middle, 1 here, and 1 here, just on the other side of the first LED. And that's the same way we have it on the other end. Down here. Okay, so now our wire is zip tied. So the reason we zip tie that wire is so we can't pull on it and break anything. Okay, it's not going to cause any friction in here at the LED where it's soldered and connected. So this is important right here. Make sure you zip tie this wire, and then we have zip tied it on the loop. Then it goes back behind the bar. Okay, so now, now when you look at it in here, you see it goes on this side of the bar. Okay, and that's to keep it away from that exhaust, but then it drapes under the suspension. And now we're gonna go, if you have the Rally model, this is an Elka suspension, or if you have the Rally model that has this gas canister, you're gonna go on the inside of here. Okay, so we're gonna run our wire on the inside of here, like so. Okay, and then it's gonna go up the frame on the other side of the bike. Okay, and I'll show you guys all that over there, but you get the idea. So now it's gonna run along the frame. So now the next step is to install our LED that goes up underneath the seat here. Hard to see, but this bracket here is for the shad right-hand saddlebag. It's going on the inside of here. There's a flat spot up here for the seat. So we're gonna use one of our alcohol prep pads and clean that, and we're gonna have an LED that sticks up underneath there and runs down the frame, and it's gonna run along with this wire that we just installed and head up towards the framework where that rocker panel was and up towards the front of the bike. Okay guys, so you can see we're on the right-hand side of the bike now, laying down, looking up underneath the seat, okay? You have your frame rails that come down like this. You see the ends here? Our LED is gonna stick to the end here, go up and across here and back down. It'll be easier to see when I get some light shining up here when you got the LED on, but that's what you need to clean with your alcohol prep pad, okay? You need to clean this area here at the end of this frame bar on both sides, and this piece here, our LED is gonna sit up in there, something like that, okay? So let me get it in there, and I'll show you how it works. And then our wire, so the wire side of the LED is gonna be off to the right side, because it's gonna run down this bar on the right side, okay? And it's gonna meet up with our other wire we already put up here. Okay guys, so I'm laying down back here. This is underneath the seat. You'll need to plug in one of the 47-inch extension wires that goes to this LED that's going underneath the seat, and that will be what runs along the frame rail towards the front of the bike. Your bike will have 2 screws right here to get the clamshell open. But what this allows is you can still get the clamshell of the bike open without unplugging these LED right here and without messing anything up. So then this bar, or that light is gonna, the LED wire is gonna run along the frame. It's gonna meet up with this one that we had from underneath the swing arm. And you see how I have this zip tie? This is important, okay? The plug is on the other side of the zip tie. So if you ever had to work on this swing arm or raise the bike up in the air, take anything apart, we can unplug that LED right there. And remember, it's only zip tied over here. And that's another reason why we do it like this. So we can cut those zip ties, say we had to work on the brake lines or something like that a year later. We can cut those zip ties, and then we can just put new zip ties in, okay? And we can unplug that LED right here. We don't gotta cut a bunch of zip ties and get up all into this frame area. So that's why it's important to do it like this. You know, like I said, we try to think of the maintenance that goes into these bikes when we're doing our install. Okay, so now we're gonna cut the ends off these, and you'll see how it runs. If you don't have the Rally or the Elkas, you won't have this here, but our wires run right here where this little cutout is in the frame, the little triangle right here. They're gonna run behind there and behind the frame down. Just wanna show you on this rocker panel real quick. So you have a push rivet up in the very front here behind the front fascia on the right hand side. And then what happens is this has a little groove back behind here that sits on. Okay, and then you can see it goes on there. So when you're putting it on, you can push to flex this and slide that behind there, and then you can bend this out and it'll pop back on. So to get it off, you're gonna pop this out, push forward, okay? And then that's how it'll come off. Okay, we will need to remove that. So you can see I get that off there because our wiring is gonna run along this framework so it can be nice and clean and keep that stealth look. You can see right here, they're gonna zip tie once right there. Then they're on the back side, they're zip tying right here. And then right here, just before your all your brake assembly and whatnot. Okay, just before right there. So I'm gonna take this off to show you, but you don't need to take this off. But if you wanna take it off, it'll make things much easier. So all you do is you pull back, that side comes off, that side comes off. That makes it much easier if you get that out of your way. But you don't have to take it off to do the install. Okay, so this is gonna go up and over this, and it's gonna run, all of our wires are gonna meet up right here, and they're gonna come underneath. You'll notice you have a long one and a short one here now. This shorter one, you're gonna need to plug in one of the 20-inch extensions, okay? That's the one that's coming from your swing arm. You're gonna end up with that one being shorter than the other one. So one of our 20-inch extensions is gonna go in there, and when we're all said and done, this stuff is gonna zip tie. You'll be able to put a zip tie right here around this piece, and then I'll hold it in place. Then we'll get a zip tie up back inside of there where the rest of our wires are running. We need to feed each one of these one at a time up through that hole back there, okay? You're gonna have to do it. That's gonna be the hardest part of the job, is getting them fed through that hole, but each one all by itself, feed one at a time through there, and then we'll plug them all in, okay? Once you get them up through there, you can actually test each individual light and make sure that it's working. Okay, but that's where they need to end up at. We're not gonna run any zip ties here yet because we want all the front LEDs and everything, okay? So let's add this 20-inch and get these two fed through, and then we'll start working on the front of the bike and our one that goes right here on the right-hand side. Okay guys, I brought this in here to the workbench just so I could show you much easier. You can do this while this is on the bike. Like I said, this is the right-hand scoop, so picture this facing forward like so. This is the bottom, there's the top, there's your little tab to unlock it, okay? So you can do it while it's on the bike. Like I said, you don't need to uninstall it. So we're gonna use one of our alcohol prep pads here, and one of our LEDs is gonna actually install behind here. It's gonna give it this really cool look and help light up that little engine bay. And it's also to help offset the right side, because we have a underglow under that left-hand side of the swing arm, but then we end up with nothing that we really can put on that right-hand side until we develop something different, you know? So we're just gonna clean this area right here, because the idea is this LED, you'll see you have a screw here and a screw here, okay? Oh yeah, you can see that. You have a screw there, screw there. So basically it's gonna be below this screw and up to where this divot is. Okay, so just like that, okay? And you just want to hold, kind of keep pressing in here for about 30 seconds to really get it to stick. Okay, so that's how that's going to go. You'll see this cable is going to drape down. We are going to have a 20-inch extension that we're going to run up through, and then it's going to plug into this. So these two are going to meet up, and what that means is when you open this, if you need to remove this, you will be able to open this without unplugging it, okay? That's the goal here, is to have enough slack in here to where you don't need to unplug it every time. But if you want to remove this, you'll be able to unplug this instead of fishing it out from behind the headlight and everything. We want it to be able to just unplug. We can remove this now. Say we need to change our filter. Like I said, we have maintenance in mind when we're doing this install. That's why we use so many different extensions to be able to plug in. So this is going to be a 20-inch extension in your kit. Remember, you got 3 sizes. You got the 20-inch, the 40-inch, and the 47-inch. Okay, so make sure you're using them in the right spots when I'm showing you how to do this install, okay? So let's go out to the bike and put this back on. Okay guys, so now we've ran our 20-inch piece for that side scoop. You can see this is it right here. Remember, always you're gonna be running a female plug up through here because these are male, okay? So now we can plug that in. What we're gonna do is just, there's our wire right here. I'm just gonna tuck it right here for right now. We're gonna plug that in, and then we'll be able to set this up here and show you guys what it looks like real quick. Okay guys, so imagine if that panel was on there. This is all cleaned up. This wire up here is for my PV3, our custom tuning device. So you can see if we undo this, this folds down nice and smooth, nothing interferes. You'll see how we did that is this wire is gonna run right along here. You're gonna put a little bend in it right here, and then your plug, if you remove your little funnel that the bike comes with, we have our 20-inch wire that I said we ran up behind here that's now plugged in, is gonna go right here. So we're gonna use one zip tie and zip tie it from the back side to that small little opening right there. So now, like I said, we can get to this plug. If we need to remove this, we unplug this, and now we can remove this. We don't need to do anything to open it. So if we're gonna change our oil, we don't need to do anything with the plug. Okay, so now we're just gonna fold this back behind here like so. You can see how it stays and it's all tucked in. Like I said, our stealth kit is gonna be awesome. You're not gonna see anything when it's done. Now keep in mind, if you have that factory air box, this is gonna be connected right up here. So you will need to get a way to get behind here and get these up here. Okay, but there we go. We have that done. So now we can put our little funnel back in here. You see, all factory looking. So you can see how that looks. Okay. Again, remember, we don't have any of this zip tied up yet because we're still going to run some more wiring. But I just wanted to show you guys what that looks like. Okay, and the whole idea behind it, we can hit our power button here. You can see that light up green up inside there. Okay, we're going to show you more what it looks like at night, but you get the idea. Move your hood, and you're going to need to remove your front fascia. So that's going to be 2 T30 Torx. You might have pusher that's under there, or they might be T20 or T25. We've seen multiple different ones, so you're going to have to check and see which ones you have. But there's 2 bolts underneath, and then you just pull straight down towards the shock. When you do it enough, you can even do it one-handed. See? So that's how that pops off. Pop off the other side. Front fascia is going to come off. We're getting ready to do this front fascia. This is the underside of the front fascia. This is the right-hand side. So picture sitting on the bike, right-hand side right here. Our wire needs to come out on the right-hand side, okay? That'll be the easiest, shortest route for us. So, again, we're gonna use one of the alcohol prep pads. We make sure we throw a few of these in that kit so you can do this job. And I always recommend watching the entire video through and then come back, follow me along. You'll have a better idea as to what needs done. So we're gonna clean this area back here. Our LED is going to run right behind these slots. If your bike doesn't have the slots, it's going to be approximately 2.5 inches from here back. Okay, it's basically where this is flat. You're going to go about an inch down right here. So you'll see how it looks. The goal is we don't want to put them all the way out in the front, because then you'll be able to see the LED and it won't be that stealth look that you're going for. Okay, so we're going to clean this little area here. Okay, we're going to remove our backing. This is one of our 13-inch strips that come in the kit. Okay, and the goal here also, remember when we're zip tying everything up, we want to be able to remove the front fascia as easy as possible should we ever need to remove it. Okay, so now we're just going to center it up. We're going to look and see where our ends are here, and we're going to center it up as best we can. It's going to be what looks best when it is glowing. Okay, you can see where I'm putting that. I'm okay with that. So now this wire that we have here, we're gonna be bringing it inside here. We'll show you that at the bike, but basically the idea here is to make it so that way if we ever need to uninstall this, we can just cut, the zip tie holding this cable at the plug, or at the frame, wherever it zips to the frame. We want to be able to just unplug this, cut these zip ties that are holding this, pull it off, do our service to it, put it back on, add some new zip ties, and plug this back in. So we want to be keeping that in mind when we're doing the install. Okay guys, we're back at the bike, and you can see we have our front fascia sitting here aside. Again, our wiring is coming out the bottom on the right hand side. Okay, just remember that. Okay, now what we need to do is install the A-arm lights. So we have A-arm lights that are coming back here, and we did this because there is a lot of items that you could install. We wanted to do the very bottom, but if you have these, you need to install it with these. It'd require a different installation. If you want to install these later, you couldn't, because it would interfere with your lights. So what we did is went with this up here. So you can see you have this little piece. What this does is this houses the wires. We're going to go underneath this thing here, this little strip here. We're going to go underneath of it. Our zip ties can feed back behind it and go around it. So we're going to use 3 zip ties. We're going to use the sticky tape, but we're also going to use the 3 zip ties because there's not a lot for it to stick to under there. And we don't want it to end up coming off and falling down and looking like garbage. So we're going to use 3 zip ties on each LED on each side here. For the left side of the bike, if you're sitting on the bike, we will need to install one of our 40-inch extensions that come in the box. Okay, and basically what you need to do is you need to run it. It drops down inside of there. So easiest way to do it is to feed it through and reach down here and grab it. Okay, and then it'll zip tie to your existing wire harness here. And it's gonna run right along the bottom of here. You want it dead center on the bottom. You'll feel the tabs that hold this plastic piece on. You want it on top of those. Okay, and that's why we're gonna run the zip tie around it just to make sure we got some extra security there. And then it's gonna run along. You can see this bike has a ton of stuff already installed on it that we're testing out and whatnot. So you're gonna run your wire along up here and come down in the front of here along the battery. And then you can, if you pull some slack on this strap, since you already have the front fascia off, you can see I got that clip off. Run it right inside here. And we need to get to that side of the bike, okay? And then the same with that A-arm. It's gonna come up the frame right here, and it's gonna run straight shot over here, so it doesn't need to run back up under the hood area. Okay, so let's get that done, and I'll show you guys what that looks like. Remember, 3 zip ties on each side up there, and then you're gonna need to use a zip tie up here, 1 in here, 1 in here, 1 up here to get that to go down there with that other one. So you can install those zip ties for that left-hand side, but don't install any yet for this side because we're going to be running the rest of our wiring. Okay guys, I'm over at the left-hand side of the bike if I'm sitting on it. And you can see we have our LED strip ran with the wire coming out right here with our wire harness. We put a zip tie right here. So you don't even notice that it's there. Looks factory. And like I said, we're not zip tying all the way around our A-arm. That gives you a really nasty looking install job. We have that plastic piece that's there in the middle. You'll have to use either a pry tool, plastic pry tool, or a flathead screwdriver and get underneath of it and just pry a little bit so you can feed the zip tie through. And then on the ends, you'll be able to flex the ends a little bit and get your zip tie through on each end. So you can see what that looks like after it's installed. Okay, so from the top of the bike, you don't even notice. And then we've ran our wire along with this factory wire here, up and through, and we got a zip tie here. Now remember, we're on the other side of our plug. If we need to take this A-arm off, all we gotta do is unplug it right here and cut that 1 zip tie. Okay, so that's the goal here, is to make it as easy as possible. So now we are running down here. We have a zip tie, so there's 1 zip tie there, 1 there, 1 there. That's 3, 4. And then we are running up underneath the frame bar, and we're going to zip tie it up here to this hose or to this existing wire up out of our way. We want to stay out of our way of our steering arm. You can see I have the bike with the handlebars turned all the way to the right. If you're sitting on it, that's going to make it easy to get to that side. You're going to turn it all the way sharp left so you can get to that back side. Okay, but that's where our wire comes out along this frame. And then we've added another one of our 40-inch extensions. Okay, we're going to let that hang there. We're going to get the right side on, and then we are going to get the wire ran. Another 40-inch extension is going to come down here to connect to our front fascia. Hey guys, so we got a couple more little things done here. We got our LED under the right-hand side ran, same way as we did the other side. We got the 3 zip ties, and then 1 zip tie right here, and we've ran it back along the frame here, running with this wire. So now we have our left side and our right side coming out here. We've also, on the right side, we've plugged in a 40-inch extension. Okay, so that's another one of our 40-inch extensions. So now we have plenty to get up behind the headlight on those. So now we need to get the front fascia up here, and then we'll zip tie all this in place. Okay, so again, we haven't zip tied right here yet, okay? And there's a reason for that. So we need another 40-inch extension, and that is going to be for plugging in our front fascia. Remember, this is the male fitting right here. So the male fitting needs to get zip tied in place. You're going to leave about 3 inches. This is where it's going to meet up with that plug that's already on the LED light. So that fitting needs to go right there. Okay, so we need to zip tie all that in place, and then it's going to stick onto the inside like this. And that is going to be so we can get our piece, our harness plugged in when we install our front fascia. Okay, and I'll show you guys how that works, but basically we need about 4 inches of this to stick out so we can have it loosely up here. Okay, and then we're going to run it back along here with the rest of our wires and have it come meet up with those guys right down there. Okay, and then we will have one more 40-inch extension plugged into that. Okay, so basically you're having two 40-inch extensions. We just try to keep it as simple as possible for you so you can see we're installing a 40-inch extension, then we'll plug into that one. Okay, so let me get this zip tied in place and the wire ran, and I'll show you up on the tripod how the front fascia goes back on. And then don't forget to put your battery strap back down along this clip. We don't need that loose anymore. Okay guys, so we now have our wire zip tied in place. You can see there. And we have about 4 to 5 inches of it hanging off of here. That's where our front fascia is going to plug in. Okay, we can't install the front fascia until we install this rocker panel. So we need to hop over to this side and address this side. So on that front fascia wire, we have installed another 40-inch extension. Okay guys, we're starting to lose some daylight here, so I just want to show you this real quick. So you can see we have zip tied right here. We're not going to zip tie these up here, so we're going to leave these loose. That's just going to allow things to flex and move around. Okay, we want to make sure we have a little bit of slack right here. You can see we have some slack. It curls back in there, so we got a zip tie on this side of this piece and this side, and then our wires come up. They meet up with these ones, which are curled out and around like that. We're going to put a zip tie here, so you got one here, one here, one here, one around here, around this hinge. Okay, and then you can see we kind of zip tied them all together right there. And now we've pulled up all of our slack, and now we have our 3 cables up top here. We're going to plug them in to our harness, and we should end up with one extra one in case we want to install something later on down the road, like when we come out with our Stealth 3 kit. Okay, after that we can put this piece back on. Okay guys, so now we got the rocker panel back on. We can now attach our side panel here, our air inlet scoop, and we can plug it in to this harness. And then we also did run a zip tie around these and tuck them all back in there. We have room to put our panel back on up here now, and then we can just put on our front fascia. It's really simple. When you're putting on the front fascia, you're literally just going to bring it over here, drape that wire underneath, put it on like normal, put your bolts in, snap these guys in place. Okay, so we have our front fascia back on, and what I was saying is, so you just reach back here, feed that wire through. We are in front of the radiator on this corner over here, and then we come up through here, and we want to feel down here. We want about 1/2 inch of slack, okay, on that wire. We don't want that wire draping down so it gets hung up on something. So we just zip tied to our existing wires. You can see we plugged it in. If we ever need to remove the front fascia, we'll cut that zip tie, unplug this harness. The front fascia comes right off without any issues. This wire can tuck back up inside of here and you won't even see it. And now we can put the hood back on and then our little scoop back on this side, and we'll test everything out. Okay guys, so now here we are, front of the bike. You can see we got it all 100% back together, and you can inspect this thing over and over again. You won't be able to find any of our LED lights. They're all hidden. That's why we wanted to come out with our own kit. Again, this is our Stealth 2 LED kit. This is the LED add-on kit. You have to have Stealth 1 to start out, okay? And then from there you can add any of the ones that we come out with afterwards. Stealth 1, Stealth 2, available now on our website, blrtuning.co. Let's turn this on and check it out. So again, we're going to come over here, our power switch that comes with the Stealth 1. Remember, we don't even need our key on the bike to do this. You can see we got an LED light there, and you can see these lights are going to go green. Let me show you again here. Let me turn this off. Okay, these lights are going to go green. You see, under the swing arm, under that back seat, and you can see you can walk around this bike. Everything glowing. Their headlights glowing under that front fascia, and then we have our remote that comes with Stealth 1. Okay, so A changes colors. You see there. That's the red. It's got this nice deep red, real deep red. And the B button, start the flashing. You can see there has multiple different variants of flashing and patterns. Okay, and then you can hit the A to go back to the color mode and change color. D turns power off, turn it back on. C, this one is listening for music. So you can see it start dimming as I'm talking. What it's doing is it's listening for music. So remember that module is up here. If you had some speakers on there that are loud enough, it would start dancing to the music with the lights. Okay, you can see how clean this looks. Coming down the road, whole bike glowing. You know, we're calling it the stealth kit. You can't see it unless it's turned on. You'd never know that it's there. Okay, really clean look. Got that show bike quality. I know it's been a long video. I do apologize for the length. This install is a very elaborate install. Okay, if you follow my step-by-step instructions in that video, you're going to be able to do it yourself and not pay somebody else to do it. Okay, and that's the goal here. Okay guys, real quick, I want to show you a cool little feature on this remote. Okay, in the first video for Stealth 1, we didn't really show off the remote too much, but if you hit A and go through the colors, when you get to, I believe it's the next one, it's the one that looks like it's white. Okay, now if we hit the, so what I did is I hit B for the flashing, and then I hit A again when you get to that white one, and then it will go through the colors. Now, if you hold A, that is your brightness, up and down. So it'll go through brightness even if you're on a solid color. And now if we hold B, that is the speed of our flashing. So you can see there, or we can just tap it. We could change the strobe mode. So really cool feature, just be able to go through the colors like that. Pretty awesome. And remember, it has memory. So if you don't turn it off here, if you don't hit the D, if you hit the D button, boom, you're powered down, okay? But your switch is still on. You need to shut that switch off, okay? But now if we leave this on, hit D, it's gonna come back to memory, so it's back right where it was. And now if we hit our power button, everything is shut down. Nothing is draining your battery, okay? Your battery is not being drained at all. This is killing power to the switch and to the module. It's not looking for a signal from the remote or nothing. But if we hit the power back on, you see everything goes testing green and then comes right back to where it was on the memory. So you could essentially be riding, you could leave it like this. You could be riding the bike, hit that power switch, all your lights are going to come on and light up. So you don't even need to dig this out of your pocket. Remember, you can pick up your Stealth 1 and Stealth 2 LED kit on our website. It's www.blrtuning.co. Anyways, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Let me know what you guys think of the Stealth kit. Peace.